It's kind of cool just to have Doug play in the background as people come on in.
Hi, Rob. Oh, look, Rob's there.
Hi, Rob. Figured go, little entrance music.
Yeah.
That's how I made a living for years, is sitting in wineries playing solo guitar.
Oh, hi, Jenny. Rob and Jenny are there. That's awesome. Should pull up the chat to see.
Thank you, Doug. That was kind of cool having intro music. So, well, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us. I'm Andy Schweiger here at Schweiger Vineyards. Hope you're having a wonderful Monday. Joining us today for our tasting, we have Morgan James and Doug Womble, who not only are going to taste some wines with me, but they're also going to play and sing for us. So for those of you at home, if you want to join along with us, we'll be tasting Schweiger 2017 Chardonnay, along with our 2014 Merlot. So if you haven't grabbed your bottles and opened them up already, go ahead and do that. And to get this started, Morgan and Doug, do you guys want to play something for us?
Yes, we do. Thanks so much for having us, Andy. It's two of our favorite things, music and wine. So, you can't go wrong.
Absolutely.
And this song has been really on my mind. I miss so much about touring and seeing my fans and seeing my fellow musicians. So I wanted to sing a Willie Nelson classic. On the road again, I can't wait to get on the road again. The life I love is making music with my friends, and I can't wait to get on the road again. Oh, on the road again, going places that I've never been, seeing things that I may never see again. I can't wait to get on the road again. On the road again, like a band of gypsies, we go down the highway. We're the best of friends, insisting that the world keeps turning our way. And our way is on the road again. The life I love is making music with my friends. Oh, I can't wait to get out on, I can't wait to get back out on the road again. Gypsies, we go down the highway. We're the best of friends, insisting that the world keeps turning our way. And our way is on the again. I just can't wait to get on the road again. The life I love is making music with my friends, and I can't wait to get on the road again. Oh, I can't wait to get on the road again.
Nice. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That was cool. Doug started off and I was like, where's he going with this? Oh.
He does. I puts it in the Doug Womble style. That's what.
Awesome. So where are you guys quarantined at?
We are in New York City, and we've been here since March 9th. Yeah, I got back from Cincinnati. March 9th, we've been quarantined pretty much, and we're playing it real safe, and we're just sheltering in place, and we have our food and wine, we have our pets, and so we're just doing our part to stay in.
Wonderful. Well, hey, I appreciate you guys coming on today. I think it's fun that, I initially started these to, okay, let's bring our wine tastings to our fans. Normally this is the time of year where I'm out hosting winemaker dinners and, meeting people and thanking them for their patronage. And I can't do that. So I started doing this and realized a lot of my musician friends can't go out on tour, can't go out and see their fans, and can't perform. So fun way for us to bring a little music and fun life into people's homes.
Yeah, absolutely. Love it.
So you guys want to dig into this Chardonnay? And
we sure do. We have our glasses.
Cheers.
Cheers. Wait, are we allowed to? I got to wait for the green light.
Absolutely. Okay. Oh, absolutely. Well, and so, you guys, we haven't had the privilege of hosting you up here before, and hopefully we can soon.
I would love that.
A little bit about this. We're one of only 3 wineries that are growing Chardonnay at the very top of the Spring Mountain District where we're at. So we're in the Western Hills of Napa Valley. So you get a very unique white peach and a minerality from our terroir. So I really try and express that in the winemaking. So there's no malolactic fermentation. It's not buttery. It's not going to be over oaked. But it's always fun. I love to hear what other people smell and taste. So I'd love to hear what you guys think as well.
Yeah,
Well, when I had it the other day, for me, there was like this this smell that there was like a Granny Smith.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
There's like a pear skin kind of smell for me as well. And so it's very balanced, which I often don't go down the white lane because sometimes I don't find them as balanced or as interesting on my palate, but this is so balanced.
Yeah, I love it.
I like the pear skin comment. That's what's fun about these, is that you taste your own wines over and over again. I kind of have my litany of these are the things that I describe, and you kind of get stuck. It's like if you only listen to your own music, you never expand.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, people come up to us all the time and they'll say, oh, I can really tell you've listened to a lot of X. And sometimes I'll just be like, no, not at all. But I love it.
I love that people hear it.
Great,
yeah. And I really like anything that has kind of the earthiness. I love earthiness in wine a lot. And I feel like this has that in a different way than other Chardonnays that I've had.
Well, and Doug, your pickup of the Granny Smith apple, because I don't go are you guys familiar with what malolactic fermentation is?
Tell us.
Very basic. So
well, I'll do the very short version so Paula doesn't buzz me. It's when a wine goes through malolactic fermentation, particularly Chardonnay, that's how it winds up tasting buttery. But it's converting malic acid to lactic acid. And malic acid is most commonly found in Granny Smith apples. So it's by not losing that malic acid, we're keeping those acid relatives to the Granny Smith apple.
Oh, I love that.
That's where you get the tangy, the fruity tang of it, as opposed to like the oaky buttery, which is,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying malolactic fermentation is bad. I think it's ideal for wines that are grown in cooler regions where they have a very high acid. It's a very natural way to deacidify the wine. But I like having wines with good acidity because good acidity makes them more food friendly and makes them brighter and helps them age longer. So I'm trying to be as non-invasive as possible.
Oh, I love that. You said makes it age longer?
Yeah, it's, well, now, honestly, usually my Chardonnay, so 17, this is a brand new release for us, but I recently opened 2012 and was still tasting beautifully.
Mm.
So the greater the acidity, the longer the fruit flavors are going to stay fresher.
There's like a petally leaf kind of thing too for me.
Hmm.
Like a low flower leaf.
So good.
It's very yummy.
What's fun is mid-fermentation, it smells like honeycomb.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
it's still there. It's very subtle in the finished wine, but in the peak of fermentation, it's just exploding with that fresh honeycomb.
Oh, wow. What a
So
fascinating job you have. So cool.
it's definitely varied. We're getting ready. We're bottling next week, so we'll be getting the 2019 Chardonnay in the bottle, along with some other wines. So I was filtering, getting everything ready for bottle earlier today. And then you never know what the next day is going to hold for you. It might be repairing a pump. It might be driving a tractor,
Yeah.
or it might be interviewing fun people over the internet. Actually, so I got an email on Friday from Chuck Egerter in Florida. And it was
Okay.
kind of funny because I was like, wait, why is this person writing to a Morgan? And then I realized, oh, wait, they're writing a question to Morgan to my email. So it's like, okay, I'll flag this and hold this. So they wrote, hi, Morgan, you have the ability to harness strong emotions while performing. These emotions add so much to what is already amazing. I can feel consumed by a song thousands of miles away, years after you've recorded what I'm listening to. How do you do this? Can you do it on demand? Does it just come naturally? Can you do it each time you perform? Or are there times when maybe you're just not feeling it?
Well, thank you. Chuck, you said it's from?
From Florida, St. Petersburg.
Well, thank you so much. What a nice email and what a nice compliment. I guess the emotion comes with how, maybe the years in theater and connecting lyrics with character and connecting lyrics with a story, not just a song. And so I always think of every single, song that I sing as like an opportunity to tell that little full 3-act story, and I think that's why I connect so much to lyrics. I think I do it pretty consistently. I don't know. You're on stage with me every night. I think it's been many years of performing. I have my off days for sure, but what do you think?
I mean, there's always days when especially when you're touring. I mean, there's times when you don't feel like it. I mean, but honestly, when I first met Morgan, I knew, very little about musical theater and Broadway and everything. And she taught me the concept of Dr. Footlight, which is, the minute you get on stage, you can feel sick or tired or whatever, grumpy. But as soon as you start playing music, when you've done it as long as we have, it's, it all just kind of starts happening and you feel good. And of course, we always feel like we have good nights and bad nights, but I think that at least we try to give, as soon as we start playing, I'm always trying to do my best, And I've never heard her take a night off, so.
Well, it's so true. I mean, I had the privilege to attend the Disney Institute for Business Excellence about 4 or 5 years ago.
Oh,
And
wow.
it taught me that Disney style of professionalism of being on stage. And yeah, there's days where, I may not feel like it, but I've got a winemaker dinner to host tonight, or I've got guests in the tasting room and they're on vacation. And how do I like to be treated when I'm on vacation? So you just have to leave your problems behind you and make sure you do your best to make sure that what can I do to make their vacation more enjoyable?
Yeah. And it's the Joe DiMaggio mindset where, somebody's in the stands that's never seen a baseball game before. And somebody's in the stands is at a winery, is at a venue and has never seen your show before. And maybe they're a child, or maybe they're just somebody who is maybe hopefully not a child of the winery, but, maybe they're a young person, and that's every night is a chance to introduce somebody to the beauty of live music and to your own art and the art that you make too, Andy.
Exactly. Well, and it's like I said before we started, this is so much fun for me, just combining my passion, wine, with my other passion, music. And it's gotten me to get off my butt. And I've never stopped playing, but I am practicing more. And my friend Cecil Ramirez is helping me set up an in-home studio. So I eventually will play on one of my own virtual tastings, but
I
I'm
love
trying to get,
that. That's a
I'm
great
trying to get
idea.
it. I don't like doing it unaccompanied, so I'm trying to get down a click track first.
There you go.
So, well, hey, do you guys want to play another song for us before we jump into the Merlot?
I would love that. So this, I wanted to play one of our new songs off our new album. Our new album's called Memphis Magnetic, and this is one of my favorite songs to play, and it's called All I Ever Gave You. All that I gave you was a choice and a seat at every table. All that I gave you was a voice and to speak when you weren't able. All that I gave you was the first call, even when nobody knew your name. All that I gave you was my all. All you kept was your shame. And I tried, but all I ever gave you was a real love. You're nothing to yourself, so nothing is enough. Yeah, all I ever gave you was a real love. And all that you could give me was to give me up. Yeah, all I ever gave you was a real love. After she left you, you came running back. I offered up a home with open doors. All she ever gave you was a heartache, and all it did was make you want her more. All you get is sadness when you're drinking, and all you get is anger when you're dry. And all I got is sitting around and thinking. All I ever do is wonder why. And I tried, but all I ever gave you was a real love. You're nothing to yourself, so nothing is enough. Yeah, all I ever gave you was a real love. And all that you could give me was to give me up. Yeah, all I ever gave you was a real love. And no, I don't feel sorry for you. You're settling for less. You're losing everything around you. You brought it on yourself. Oh, was a real love. You're nothing to yourself, so nothing is enough. Yeah, all I ever gave you was a real love. And all that you could give me was to give me up. Yeah, all I ever gave you was a good love, was a good love. All I ever gave you was a real love.
Amazing. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Hey, so I was thinking, I'm going to
Yeah.
ask you a variation of the question I get asked. The question I get asked is, well, you make so many wines, which one is your favorite?
Okay.
You have your solo career. You perform with Postmodern Jukebox. You have a background in theater. Do you have a preference, or they all have their own nuances that you enjoy performing with the groups who are on stage, or with Doug, or?
It's no contest for me. Performing my own music is my very favorite because I get to be with my husband. I get to sing music that's very personal to me, and it just feels like a long fought battle. And I feel really satisfied when those gigs are exciting and fun, and when people show up. You know, I feel a real sense of pride getting to play music that I've written, and it's you know, even if it's a long day, you walk away and you know how it feels to be the boss. It's fun to be the boss.
Oh yeah. Oh
so
yeah.
I'm being the boss.
Well, and so for those of you who are watching on Zoom, if you have any questions, feel free to type them into the chat message, and Paula can repeat them to us if we miss them. And if you're on Facebook Live, just type in any questions and Paula can get those off to us as well. So Paula, do you have anything so far?
We just had a couple comments that first, your music is amazing. And then Dave would like to know if you will sing Monroe. So there's a request for you.
Monroe? I don't know what that is. So probably not. I don't know if I should. I don't know that song, Monroe.
Monroe.
But I'll have to look it up.
Huh.
Yeah. Or let us know, Doug. So, well, fantastic. Should we jump into the 14 Merlot?
Oh, yes. So for those of you tuning in, Andy sent us a bottle of each of these wines so we could get to know them a tiny bit before this. And is it okay that I say that, Andy? Well, too late now.
Absolutely.
Okay. So we opened up the Merlot and we were like, oh my gosh, we fell in love with this wine. Hold on. I got to pour some for Doug. Here, sweetheart.
Oh, thank you.
Tradesies.
Oh, Lord.
Cheers.
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 Oh my God, it smells so amazing. This is really, really an amazing wine, Andy.
Oof.
Thank you. When this is 100% varietal, there's no other varietals blended in. So trying to give a true expression of varietal.
Yes.
This is what it should be. I mean,
Yeah.
Merlot is often very, for me, it's just like, it's kind of a one note thing. It can very often be, it's fine, but it's like, this is just like, it's got a million things going on in it. It's like it's definitely the best Merlot I've ever had in my life.
Yeah, and it
So
also
good.
sometimes for me is as I'll avoid some of the well, I don't know how to describe it, but sometimes it's too tannic, like acidic, and hurts my throat kind of sometimes. And this doesn't at all, which is dangerous because I would drink like a case, I feel like, and not feel it. But it's so complex and yet grounded and really, really fruity.
Farming in the mountains can be challenging because your yields are lower, but the great thing about farming in the mountains is the flavors and the aromas are all turned up to 11. So we have so much more to work with. What you're talking about with the tannin sometimes being too biting is in the valley floor, they have to work even harder to extract as much as possible. My job is actually to rein that in and to not over extract. It's real easy to make a big, jammy, over extracted tannic wine in the mountains. I want to make something that's a little bit more layered and more elegant. So we're actually barrel aging. So this Merlot was barrel aged just shy of 3 years, not to make it oakier or toastier, but give it more time in that naturally aerative environment of the barrel. So those tannins can round out, polymerize, and be more food friendly, more approachable.
Mm-hmm. It drinks so easy, and I just feel like it would go with so many things. It's got the smell though is like.
So speaking of what it will go with, Andy, we've had a couple questions about what would you pair these wines with?
Well, I'd say our longest term go-to for Merlot pairing was for a while we were doing this, we would pair the Merlot as a salad course, and we would do a salad of baby greens with duck confit and a raspberry vinaigrette. And then sometimes instead of the duck confit, if we couldn't get the duck confit, we would do date stuff with goat cheese wrapped with bacon and smoke the bacon until it just starts to reduce down. So bring in some of that smoky, that gaminess of either bacon or duck really work amazingly well with it. Now, what also would work well is the chicken parmesan that I made a couple of weeks ago.
Mhm.
And I know a lot of people are going, wait, chicken with red wine? But that breaded chicken with the homemade red sauce with the San Marzano tomatoes is just amazing.
Yum.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I'm not ashamed to admit that it's based off a Good Eats recipe. So
Hey,
Listen,
whatever works.
Everything, I feel like I owe so much to that show because I started watching it, whatever, 20 years ago. And I learned more about like how to, just the principles of cooking. To me, he speaks to me like Alton Brown, I'm talking about, speaks to me like a musician because I can't bake. I can't do the precise all that stuff, but like I can cook, and I love to just improvise in the kitchen. And I feel like Good Eats taught me all the principles of the Maillard principle, like how to get good knife cuts, how to all these kind of things. Really, even though I don't eat meat anymore, I still love like what I learned from it, and I take all those lessons in everything I make today. So he's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I really didn't cook before I saw that show about 20 years ago. And all of a sudden it was like, wait a minute, this guy is speaking my language. I mean,
Yeah, totally.
One of my majors was microbiology. And so whenever he breaks out the sock puppets, my inner geek just blossoms. So
I love it. I love it. And his books are incredible too. And if you love the science of cooking, you should check out Shirley O'Corrier's book about the science of food. She used to be on his show back in the day.
oh yeah.
And she's magnificent. Yeah, I love the science of food. And I mean, wine is such a science too. It's like you have to know so much about chemistry and biology, and it's a fascinating process.
It is. It's fun because, I mean, where else can you combine farming, microbiology, chemistry, a lot of hard work and sweat, and have it come out as a great bottle?
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is like, there's also this, sorry to go back to the way it smells and tastes, but there's also this kind of like when you first put a bunch of cherries in the colander to like wash them, and then there's that like, there's this fresh cherry thing to me, It's really, really wonderful, this wine.
It's so rewarding. And of course, that movie Sideways actually did Merlot a huge favor in the long range, because a lot of wineries were making mediocre Merlot, and they were growing it in regions that does not do a good job growing that as a varietal. And when that movie came out, all the mediocre Merlot producers quickly rushed to jump on the new bandwagon of Pinot Noir and Syrah and became mediocre Pinot and Syrah makers. And it kind of cleared the field for those of us up in the mountains doing it where it grows well to really bring about a renaissance in Merlot. I mean, you look at what we're doing here, Barnett, Pride Mountain Vineyards. I mean, Cabernet is king up here in Spring Mountain, but Merlot is definitely shows amazingly well up here.
That's amazing. I love that.
And I actually had, they had not heard of me before, but they wrote to me because they're a fan of yours. And so when you promoted this podcast today, or webcast, they wrote to me and asked, where can we buy the wine so we can taste along in New York? And
tell everybody, tell them.
Well, that's the problem is we are so small. It's hard to play the distribution game in major markets. In a market like New York City, Kendall Jackson has 10 full-time salespeople who live and work in New York. Yeah. I can maybe fly out to New York every other year to promote the brand. Well, as soon as I get on the airplane, the distributor's forgotten about me. So you spend thousands of dollars to get one case sold. It's not a sustainable business. So we're big in a lot of the flyover states. Atlanta is probably one of our biggest markets. So they're definitely in my prayers as they're starting to open up their restaurants again. And I know my chef friends and my server friends are all hurting and want to get back to work, but I want them to do it safely too.
I know, I do too. Sorry, Andy. I was going to say, I wish that our favorite winery, our little wine shop in Harlem, carries amazing wines. I love local owned places like that. And I'm going to hip them to you guys. And I know it's more complicated than that, just like it is in music. I mean, the tale you just told is a perfect, corollary to the music business, and I'm a small winery, but small business myself, and I don't have national and international distribution. So it's one set of ears and one set of taste buds at a time. And the people that really like what I do really like it. But I don't, obviously I can't ship in bulk all over the world, but I think that what I'm doing is small batch goodness, you know what I mean? So I totally get it's all about what you make,
Well, that's exactly it. And so what you just said, that's what we focus on, is the word of mouth. We don't submit for reviews. You live by the good review, you die by the bad review. And when you're making wine for a reviewer, you're making it for one person's palate. I want to make wines that are expressive of our vineyard. And I want to make wines that chefs enjoy pairing foods with.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where we enjoy our biggest success. And so that's why I love going out. And I miss the traveling. Even though there's times when you're traveling, you're like, oh, I can't wait. I've been in hotels half the month.
I hear you. Yes.
At the same time, Facebook put up a memory about 2 weeks ago. It's like, yeah, I miss traveling. I got into the habit about 2 years ago when I get out of the shower, my last day in a hotel room, I'll write, hi, Jennifer, in the steam of the mirror, hoping that someday the next person to get that hotel room will be named Jennifer. And when she gets out of the shower in the morning, there'll be a ghostly image.
Creepy. That's so creepy. By the way, something I just spoke about, somebody asked if you can get this into that little wine shop. I'm going to totally email the wine shop. It's called The Winery. It's on 116th in Harlem. If there's a couple fans said, where can we buy direct? Is there any place they can buy direct from you on your website?
Yes. So we can ship to 49 of the 50 states. And I think we've got a couple of programs going on right now with $10 on 6 for shipping. And if they don't see it, have them email the winery and I'll make sure that we can get $10 flat rate shipping for 6 bottles.
Oh, amazing. We should do a music pairing, like this bottle goes best with this album, and like you get the album in a bottle, and then it's meant to like listen to the album and drink the bottle. Ooh. Wouldn't that be fun? I'm
game.
Like pairing. Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah.
I could test that out at home.
I actually did that in college. I would study certain classes to certain artists. So Stan Getz was always organic chemistry. Norman Brown was organic chemistry, was microbiology. So when I'd be taking a midterm or a final, I would just have that artist's songs playing in my head.
I love
and formulas would just start coming back to me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, listen, let's talk to David about it because I love this. And I think what goes better than great food and wine and music? I mean, that's what it's all about.
Absolutely. Well, no, and I've had when I found out I could have you come on here, I started listening to all your stuff. I was like, this is going to be fun. I hope sometime we can get them out to the winery and maybe even have you guys play the party coming up.
Oh yeah, that'd be so fun.
When we all get to start having parties again.
Yes. One day it'll be safe to do that. And when it does happen, we will be so ready for the communion and the fellowship and the, being able to hug one another. Yeah,
it's funny. My assistant winemaker gave me notice on Friday. She's moving back home to Michigan. She's just got engaged and she's going to be there to be closer to family. And it was done so sweetly at the end. I just wanted to give her a hug, and we're like,
oh,
we can't.
I know. It's heartbreaking. We can't grieve together. We can't celebrate together. And I hope that it reminds us, it really brings to light the things that we miss and the things maybe we took for granted and the things that we cherish,
And we've made new friends in new ways along the way. So
absolutely.
We've done this if we were just going on as normal.
Exactly.
So, well, fantastic. Paula, were there any other questions or?
No, just getting more comments about people are loving the idea of you guys doing a wine and album together. So
yes,
so let's work on that.
Okay, let's do it.
For sure.
It'd be a blast.
Alrighty. Fantastic. All right. Well, I want to thank you guys for coming on today, and thank you everybody at home for tuning in. Do you guys want to grace us with one last song to send East Coast off to dinner and West Coast off to finish the rest
Happy
of their
hour?
day drinking?
We would love to. We would love to. What? Yeah. Yeah. You know, every single day we've been doing what we call a quarantune. Every single day we do a different quarantune that maybe connects somebody in the title or the lyrics to something about being quarantined. And so every day we put it up on my Facebook and Instagram. And so we wanted to do a special one. I'll be seeing you in all the old familiar places that this heart of mine embraces all day through. In that small cafe, the park across the way, the children's carousel, the chestnut tree, the wishing well. I'll be seeing you in every lovely summer's day, in everything that's light and gay. I'll always think of you that way. I find you in the morning sun, and when the night is new, I'll be looking at the moon, but I'll be seeing you.
Wonderful. Touching for what we're all going through right now.
Thank you so much.
Morgan, Doug, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having us, Andy, and we hope to see you again in person.
Absolutely. Everybody at home, stay safe, stay healthy, stay home.
Bye, everybody.